How's it going, everybody? Mike here once again, and someone you've never seen before on the videos. I know we only have 2 of them, but someone you haven't seen yet is Stephanie, my partner in crime with the Unlucky Archer stuff. And this is our other partner in crime, the Meekster. Her name is Mika.
Her name is Mika. She's wearing a festive Christmas sweater today.
I really wanted to eat her until recently. We've bonded. We've gotten over it.
That's okay.
But anyway, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do our top 5 Christmas movies in the spirit of Christmas.
Yes.
Number 5 would be Elf, you know, the Will Ferrell movie, the masterpiece. Did you know that Jon Favreau directed it?
What?
Or did he produce it?
I don't know.
He did one, and he was the doctor in it, which was cool. This thing is tickling me something fierce.
It's festive.
I was really surprised to hear that Jon Favreau had anything to do with the movie other than his little cameo.
See, Elf, I don't like Will Ferrell. And the only movie I can tolerate him in is Elf.
Really?
Yes.
See, I like Will Ferrell, but it seems to me like the hits of his, I don't necessarily like. Like, I didn't like Anchorman on the first try.
That's fair.
I really hated Blades of Glory. I couldn't stand that movie. But when it came to Elf, I loved it. He's got other movies that I love, like Step Brothers is awesome. But,
whole nother level.
But Step Brothers is awesome. I do like that movie. But Elf is the epitome of repetitive Christmas movie, the kind of movie I can watch over and over and over again during the season. Yeah, it's the type of movie that you could just keep watching. We watch it at work all the time, and there's always that one station on TV that has that on loop or a couple other Christmas movies. So it is, I think, a good spot for number 5.
It is.
It's not perfect, but it is good.
There are better Christmas movies, but it still deserves to be in the top 5.
Yeah, for sure. And then number 4
is The Grinch!
Of course.
The Jim Carrey Grinch.
Right.
Although the animated Grinch is still awesome in its own right, the Jim Carrey Grinch is just amazing. The
Jim Carrey Grinch is pretty good. Was it you that told me that each hair was individually sewn onto his suit?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, that's some dedication.
That's intense.
I'd say that movie, a lot of work went into it, more work than you'll ever really appreciate.
Yep. Yep, and little Cindy Lou, who is
now Taylor Momsen, who's kinda a word that I shouldn't say, but
yeah, she's in The Pretty Reckless.
Yeah, she is, and she flashed her boobs to all of Mexico at like 16, but to each his own, right?
That's fair.
She grew up to be quite the looker, but you know, this movie is a classic. I think I was in grade 2 when this came out. What year did this come out?
Yeah, I don't know.
2002 or 3?
2002 sounds good.
Yeah, I was pretty young. I don't remember seeing it in theaters, but I remember it going to VHS.
I remember seeing it in theaters with my mom. We saw it on the last day that it was out in theaters.
Oh, okay.
And we were the only ones in the theater, and we both wept at the
Really?
Faith Hill song. Yep.
Oh, okay,
Where Are
that
You
makes
Christmas?
sense.
We lost it. We still
That
can't
makes
listen
sense.
to it to this day. So that's why that's why it's at the top.
Yeah, I remember.
It's got the feels.
I remember when it was on VHS. I used to watch it in school all the time, and we ended up having to do in I think grade 5. We had to do like our own little Grinch story, almost continuing it. So I did the Grinch and a kid who also didn't like Christmas because it was clearly that creative. So I repeated the whole story all over again.
You just made it your own. You made it
Exactly.
better.
I'm pretty sure his son had my name because I'm selfish like that.
Of course.
Pretty self-centered,
It's only
but
fair.
yeah. I think it's a good spot for number 4.
Yes.
So again, it's not perfect, but it's the kind of movie that you need to at least watch once during this time of year.
Absolutely.
So number 3 has got to be A Christmas Story, the kind of movie that this is another movie that I'm pretty sure there's always that one station that plays it 24 hours on Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
It's a classic, I'd say.
It is. There's so much memorabilia about it.
Right.
It's a classic.
Like that lamp.
The leg lamp.
And there's always
and the
that
gun.
Yeah, and there's that scene with the kid getting his tongue stuck to the pole that is iconic. That and the "oh fudge, but I didn't say fudge" scene. I love that. It kills me every single time. Especially the soap scene. I love the sound of his friend screaming on the phone.
It's a little bit of a dark for a Christmas movie, which I appreciate.
Yeah, it's darker, but it's also real for the time period that it's set in.
Yes.
I'm not sure if it was filmed around that time. I think it's set a bit earlier than it was still filmed.
I'm not sure.
I think so. I'm not 100% sure. But it's the kind of movie, yeah, it's dark. Honestly, for whatever reason, I love the sound of his friend screaming on the phone.
That's a little weird.
But no, you know when his mom is on the phone with his friend's mom, and you hear her go, "What?" And then you hear the kid screaming, as I think he's getting beaten, and then you hear Ralphie get the soap in his mouth. The screaming is iconic for Christmas for me.
So pain and suffering.
A little bit. Yeah.
Makes sense.
I'd say it's a classic Christmas movie. Good for number 3.
Yeah, definitely good for number 3. Number two takes the cake. Could have been number 1, but number 2 is Home Alone 2.
Of course.
For sure. Not Home Alone 1. Home Alone 2. Set in New York City. My favorite city. That's probably why I love it so much.
What I'm confused is I don't remember why they were in New York City all of a sudden. Did they move there?
I was watching it today.
Mm-hmm.
They were going on a plane there, and I believe he gets put on the wrong plane because he's late. He was getting batteries for the camcorder. He got the batteries and then went to the wrong gate, and then he got sent to New York City.
Oh, okay, that makes sense now. Because I never understood why he was suddenly in New York.
Yes.
Another thing I have like an issue with in the movie, if those same criminals saw the kid over again, why wouldn't they just like break his neck or something? Like as soon as you see the kid, kill him. Yeah, after all the pain and suffering from the first movie, how do you let that kid
made you
get away?
bald. He electrocuted you.
He kicked him in the nuts. He
threw paint at them.
He knocked them out of the treehouse.
Although they did remember about the paint.
They did remember. There was
that.
The nails in the foot, the iron in the face, all these things in the first one. I gotta say,
this kid is intense.
He's sick. He's twisted. I'm surprised there wasn't a Home Alone like 7 where his name's Calvin, right? Kevin. I'm surprised Kevin McAllister didn't have like a spin-off where he was a murderer.
It could have been like down the line, like Macaulay Culkin now, because he looks like...
He does kind of look like a serial killer.
He does look like a serial killer.
He also has a cover band that only sings about pizza. They turn some famous band songs into pizza themed.
That's good life choices.
Yeah, good life choice. He's got the money to not care anymore.
That's fair.
And he dated Mila Kunis, so good for him. He's on the right path.
Good job, man.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. So number 1 is actually Steph's favorite, National Lampoon Christmas Vacation. That's what it's called, right?
I think it's everyone's favorite.
That's what it's called,
yes,
though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It is.
Yeah, it is a classic. I didn't watch it all that much as a kid just because of the content matter, but or subject matter. Sorry.
It has the most memorable lines. I watch it every year with family. It's a tradition. Has to be watched.
I'd say it is a classic. I watched it recently on Netflix with my sister and my mom. Yeah, it's on Netflix. Yeah, and it's a little cleaner than I thought it was. Mind you, I hadn't watched it all the way through since I was a little kid, so I thought it was a little worse than it actually was. But it's one of those movies that you can go back to and enjoy just as much as you watch it in the first viewing.
Yes.
It is definitely a classic. It's one of those older movies that holds up really well, which isn't too common anymore.
No, that one you can watch even still 10 years down the line.
Right.
It's a Christmas tradition. My favorite scene though is when he's on the toboggan, the makeshift toboggan, and he puts some Pam on it, and he just flies right into Walmart.
What was it? Didn't he hallucinate a naked woman in his pool?
Yeah, it's the Kalakaliki Maka.
But isn't it wintertime there? Why is there a naked woman going into his pool?
No, it's because he is planning to use his bonus check to get a pool for his family. So he's imagining. See,
I forget this movie, but yeah, like, why a naked woman instead of his wife?
Well, he was talking to an attractive woman at the department store at the beginning of the movie, and he's like, staring at her chest, and he's like, it's a little bit nipply in here. Nippy. There's a nip in the air.
That's like the mole 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 from Austin Powers.
Yes.
That's Goldmember, right?
Yes, it is. I believe, yes. Yes.
Alright, so that wraps up our top 5 Christmas movies. This was pretty fun.
This was pretty damn fun.
Mika enjoyed it.
Mika hasn't even moved. Oh, there we go. There it is.
If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to follow our blog and our social media.
Yay.
All that's below.
Woo!
See ya.